So I'm here under the yew tree at the entrance to St. Patrick's graveyard in Kilkenny, and been asked to come up and have a look at the graveyard and give some advice in terms of looking after the place and doing a survey and so on. And you can see it's unusual. It's a massive, beautiful Kilkenny limestone. There seems to be burials on both sides of the site. She's long, she's urban. I presume there was a ruined church in here somewhere. I didn't see it on the map when I looked this morning. But we've burials all over, and there is no standing ruined church. They're all facing east. They have a nice simple path down the middle. It's been cleaned up recently, main weeds taken off it, but this kind of blinding path I think is quite robust. Saw this fella earlier. Looks like a cross base, but there's a coat of arms on the front, so oh wait, it's something more than that. There's inscriptions in relief there on the side, so I don't know what that is now. She goes all the way down to the back here. The early headstones are the small ones there. Early as in early 1700s, and there's 1700s over here as well. Cobbleshay, that little one there. There's a burst of 1700s in around here and down here. So they're potentially telling us if there's a ruined church, it's up in that area. No, that's very prelim. I don't have any. That's a first impression. I wouldn't go putting money on it. So we just walked down the centre of the site, and it's quite densely occupied all over. Here we are at the back wall. Beautiful Irish limestone, beautiful Kilkenny limestone. But one of the most startling things about the graveyard is there's an assemblage of late medieval grave memorials, mortuary monuments here along this wall. Crow telling us what. There's these tapered stones. A lot of them will be 14th, 15th century. They're all over the shop. But then there's a collection of them here, standing against this wall, all recorded. But I think there's a conservation challenge in these. They're all standing. They're cemented in the top to keep the rainwater off them, and there's an iron bracket then used to actually hold them in place. So that's a conservation challenge, I would expect. That could be one of these early 1600s, late 1500s chest tombs that Kilkenny is noted for. And then these grave slabs all against the wall. Beautiful of their type. You can see that let's say Lombardic script, whatever you call it, around the outside, and then there'll be a cross and a Calvary at the bottom. That's a beaut in there. But this collection here is exceptional, and it's just interesting to see how, is there a better way of actually presenting them to the community, and is there a better way of looking after them in the longer term. That's effigial there. There's a human figure in that. That's a cross. That's a human figure. The head is lost, but there's a lot of detail. Female figure. There's one of those gorgeous crosses. Okay. So it's a beaut. There's 300 odd headstones in here. It's been published, I think, by Michael Dwyer. I might have the wrong surname there now. But there is a publication, and it's probably one of those ones that was recorded by the ladies from Rothouse back in the 70s and the 80s. So they're probably all red. But I think what's interesting, if we can match the names, if we can reread them, or else put the names and the dates on them, we can plot them by decade and see what kind of age groups we're getting there, and can we spot some early burial patterns from the graveyard. We had a look at this fella earlier. It's a stunner. It's like the most detailed. You can tell you're in a city and a county which has got a strong tradition of carving limestone. There's two archangels here, I think, on the side with a banner. That's beautifully done. One date on the stone there is 1754. A later date added then is 1837. It's somewhere between those two dates. But that's a stunning piece of work for the late 18th century, maybe early 20th century. Yeah, this would be kind of more conventionally high quality from the mid 18th century. Look at those big chunky angel figures there. That one over yonder, that's far more high quality carving and so on, so I suspect it's a bit later than this, but the same tradition, just far more accomplished. So there's a lot going on here. Fantastic place in the heart of the city, called Willamede. We're just outside the main tourism zone. That's Kilkenny Castle over, College. And here, can you hear the birds? Biodiversity in the graveyard is stunning. And I think the tidy towns want to continue to expand on that biodiversity and increase it, which probably means just replacing some of the grass with more of a hay meadow flora, and that's very doable. We need more insects, we need more birds, we need a different range, a different suite of plants, and the hard stone, the headstones can be used to inform that kind of strategy as well. Okay. Alright, that should do for now. We'll leave it with a view of the angel. That knocked my socks off earlier. I think that's incredible. If I was going to make a guess at a date for that now, I don't know, 1790s. But that's on the basis of just one visit. I think if we look at the rest of these, we'll be able to come up with something tighter. Alright, slán it.